behind-the-scenes live stream starts momentarily. But first, thanks to our wonderful sponsors. I don't know if you just saw the news, but average U.S. household debt just hit $152,000. That's mortgages, cars, cards, student loans. But the national debt just hit $37 trillion. It's all going out. Ask yourself this. When the system hiccups, who bails you out? It's not the Fed, not the politicians, and that's why I own gold. Gold doesn't need a CEO, doesn't need missed earnings. It doesn't freeze your account on a Friday at 4:59. While they print, gold just sits there doing what it's done for thousands of years. Store value. If you're done playing musical chairs with your savings, get something real in your hand. That's why you should try our good friends Kirk Elliott Precious Metals today. Goldwithjustin.com. Kirk and the team going to walk you through what they're doing, whether you're a seasoned pro when it comes to buying precious metals or you're just getting started. Call Kirk and the team today at 720-605-3900. That's 720-605-3900, or go to goldwithjustin.com to find out how they can help you today. No pressure, just facts and a plan. That's goldwithjustin.com. Protect what's yours with gold. Goldwithjustin.com. Do it today. When the grocery shelves go empty, you're out of time. That's the truth. Disasters hit fast. Storms, blackouts, supply chain chaos, and the first thing to vanish is food. That's why smart Americans, just like you, are stocking up now with My Patriot Supply. You can go to preparewithjustin.com right now to get a 3-month emergency food kit, and they'll even throw in a free 4-week food kit to boot. That's 4 whole months of meals ready to eat. No refrigeration needed, all with a 25-year shelf life. We're talking breakfast, lunches, dinners, over 2,000 calories a day to keep you strong when everything else shuts down. So don't wait until the crisis is here. Order today, and it ships fast and discreet. Go to preparewithjustin.com. That's preparewithjustin.com, because when the lights go out, the last thing you should be worrying about is feeding your family. Preparewithjustin.com. It's here, the grand reopening of the merch store, justinbarclay.com/store. We've got brand new tees, hoodies, and gear in fresh designs, colors, and sizes, even some for the kids. You're going to find favorites like the FAFO, Full Around Find Out shirt, the Gulf of America tees, sweats, and more. And alligator Alcatraz designs are ready to wear and ready to make a statement. And even cups. We've got mugs. We've got bags. We've got hats. All kinds of great stuff inside the store. Perfect for the rally, the weekend, or just everyday life. Shop now at justinbarclay.com. Shop now at justinbarclay.com/store. That's justinbarclay.com/store. Do it today. Yep, another large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving My Pillow with a ton of extra pillows. But you know what? Mike and the team have decided to make that lemons your lemonade. It's their loss, your gain. My Pillow offering the classic collection for wholesale prices, only $17.98 for a standard My Pillow. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. You're going to get extra great, extraordinary prices, great deals on amazing products, and help support Mike and the cause, plus our show as well at the same time. It's a win-win. Go to mypillow.com or mystore.com/Justin to support Mike and the cause. That's mypillow.com or mystore.com/Justin. Use promo code Justin to take advantage of all the great prices and help support Mike and me today. Thank you, and God bless.
Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM. Live from high atop Monroe Center in downtown Grand Rapids, we're talking about what matters most to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on Wood Radio.
It was coming down for a while. Now it's clearing up a little bit downtown. No sunshine. I don't think we're going to see any of that. But the roads, boy, I'll tell you. Again, for the last, half a month, it feels like. Anyway, it's just been something out there. We'll give you the latest on what you need to know, of course, weather-wise, and things are heating up. Not in the forecast, but at least in other places in the news and the headlines. And cooling down maybe in Minneapolis. We'll talk about that, the temperatures in this moment.
News, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now today's Big Three.
Yeah, the Big Three, powered by our good friends at Hardwick Home Mortgage. Our good friend Dave Galloway and the team ready to help you. Whether you're going to buy, refi, home equity line of credit, so they can help everybody. And, of course, now as the rates are coming down, thanks to President Trump, the economic moves that have been made. Lots to look forward to, in fact. We're going to talk about some of that a little bit later on this week, housing and more. So get ready for that. But in the meantime, hhmlending.com is where you can reach out to Kevin and the team and see how they can help you. They'd love to do it.
Number one.
More than 500,000 still without power in the south as the cleanup continues from that winter storm over the weekend. Here, we get the winter weather advisory in effect until about 7 tonight from 1:31 to the west. Things could be dicey for folks and travel, so check the roads. Leave a little more time extra before you go. Those are the things to know. We got trees down. I think even as I saw, one crew was cleaning up, I think in Nashville where they had most of this damage. They left. They just finished their work, and another tree fell and took out another line. It's that usual issue with all the ice and the snow and everything that they had to deal with that is really causing a problem. Speaking of ice,
Number two.
if Democrats shut down the government this weekend, it won't stop ice. They're funded till 2029. I know that was part of the talk and part of the plan over the weekend. That there may be a shutdown, yeah. And in fact, that may still happen here at the end of the week. But it looks like ICE still remains funded, and there's just nothing they can do. Now, changes are coming in Minneapolis with ICE. Border Czar Tom Homan is on his way. He'll be reporting directly to the president. A switch out over the last 24 hours. And Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino on his way back to the border. President Trump even talking with Tim Walz. Walz getting iced out himself. And apparently there have been some concessions. President saying he's going to change the way some of the things are done with ICE as long as Governor Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis, Mayor Frey, who we just found out agreed to do the same, make some changes as well. You know, they're a sanctuary city, and what that means essentially is this. They don't cooperate. So if you get folks who are here illegally and they are locked up and in one of their jails, when they go to release them, or even the fact that when they are locked up, they won't notify Border Patrol. They won't notify ICE. They won't let the federal government know that they're there. That's how they apply their sanctuary status. They don't cooperate. All of that looks like is changing. At least that's the word for now. We'll find out how legitimate that stays as time goes on. But I want to caution you, it's not a cave on President Trump's part. I know there's some folks that may be looking at it that way. I don't think that's the way you ought to look at this. I think this is the way he wants it done from the beginning. He doesn't want massive force out on the street doing this job. He wants it done in a very effective way, in a way that they will take these people, the criminals who are coming into contact with law enforcement on a daily basis, take them off the streets immediately. Why? That impacts your numbers. Like we saw last week, murder rates down to the lowest level since 1900. I mean, it's incredible what happens when you actually start enforcing the law. Nobody wants to see what we've seen happen in the last several weeks here with Americans, unfortunately, on the wrong end to find out. But President he is not responsible for that. He didn't cause that. It is the policies of these sanctuary cities and the Democrats that led us to where we are today. So we got movement. And as it stands now, I think that's a good thing. We'll hear from you, though.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Speaking of Minneapolis, I don't know if you've seen this story or not, but this is something. This is really the reason why we're watching that. It's the sanctuary cities and states status that drive this. But the other thing, particularly that has driven the flare up in the last several weeks, had been the news, the big news that was uncovered. All of that fraud. And guess what they're digging into now, because they're all under investigation. Fry's under investigation. Walls is under investigation. These are the same people pushing it. And by the way, coming up a little bit later, about 9:35 today in our Tech Talk segment, we're going to break it down. This is coordinated. It's organized at a level you're not hearing about. You won't even hear about any of this on the nightly news, but it's really organized at a level that you most probably aren't aware of. And it's all done online, essentially using apps. An app called Signal that they say is secure. I don't know about how secure it is. But Trent Kennedy's talked about it before. Will join us and he'll kind of dig into that and what's actually taking place on those apps, the coordinating of these insurrectionists for the resistance. I think that sounds too cool. I'd really rather call them the insurrectionists. These are the people that hate America. They want these folks to be here. The criminals, they're defending them. The rapists, the murderers, they're defending those folks. And they say, no, they ought to stay. They're the ones out blowing the whistles and warning them that ICE is there to take them to jail.
You're a money guy. And I wanted to ask you about the finances of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah. She's in big trouble. Her and her husband. Not the brother husband, the other one.
In Minneapolis. Because apparently, according at least to her financial disclosure, her family is amazing at business. Because look at the way that her net worth has increased over just a single year. 2023, this was a business that was owned by her husband. The E Street Crew Winery. 2023, it was valued at a maximum of $50,000. 2024, that value jumped to $5 million. And Rose Lake Capital, which is a business that Ilhan Omar's husband owns, in 2023 was valued at a maximum of $1,000. 2024, it suddenly jumped to $25,000 in maximum value, giving her family a total potential net worth of $30 million over the course of a year.
Wow.
Do you find that suspicious, or are they just really good at business?
I think it's
just a little suspicious. Just a little bit. You're kidding me. So just so you understand, she's getting funding. They've got a winery that isn't even open. It's not public. Apparently, it's a fake winery, kind of like fake daycares. You've heard about the fake transportation companies, but did you know there were fake wineries? I'm convinced a lot of them got some of these ideas from the ripping off in 2020 all the COVID loans and whatnot. I'm convinced that's where some of this came from. But man, at the scale and how much they've taken, and she's right at the center of it. I guarantee they all are. They're not going to pass up this opportunity.
We're going to ask these questions, John. When you just look back to 2018, Omar's net worth was minus $60,000, and now it's tens of millions of dollars. And it's disturbing just what's been going on in Minnesota. We have a confidential whistleblower that reported that, in fact, the Minnesota taxpayers are the largest funder of a Somalia terrorist organization that you referred to earlier, Al-Shabaab. And so she's, and in fact, the Feeding Our Future, the group that I was talking about, there's a couple people that were part of that organization that have been criminally charged that, in fact, were major donors to Omar. So
she's giving that money back.
It's all not adding up, and so we need to pay attention to it.
So here's what we just got to air her side. Here's what she said. She said, quote, "My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home and still paying off my student debt. So if you're going to lie on something that's public, maybe try checking my public financial statement."
Well, this is public financial statement.
And you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions. But according to her financial disclosure, that claim doesn't hold water. She does have millions.
Yeah, the financial disclosure when she started showed that she didn't have much. But now she has tens of millions of dollars. And that's what people are questioning.
That's Rep. Jason Smith from Missouri, the congressman there, a House Ways and Means chairman. So they're going to get down to the bottom of this.
And I don't know that they can hide some of this stuff. Send her back. If she's guilty of all this fraud, which it clearly looks like it, send her packing, which is what I think lots of folks would like to see when they dig into it. By the way, there's some more good news that came out of yesterday. And I'll go through some more of this coming up in a second. Apparently, cops in Minnesota, they've been told to stand down for the longest time by the mayor and, of course, the governor, etc. Trump has the leverage now because of these investigations, because of everything else, to get things cleaned up in some ways. Last night, they finally fought back. The story about the cops taking on the mob last night. And by the way, I don't blame the individuals. The police on the squad there in Minnesota and Minneapolis, I guarantee they want to do their jobs. They're just they haven't been allowed to so far. And boy, this is interesting to watch. We'll give you the details about that and more coming up in just moments, folks. Don't go anywhere. Our Tech Talk segment with our good friend Trent Kennedy coming up today. So hang on. It is tough, especially when you have a family member who is at that stage in life going through, time to help them move on. And if you're selling a senior's home to help them get into assisted living, getting top dollar, it really matters now more than ever, really. You think of all the expenses and all the things that go into it. We just went through something similar. And look, when it matters most, this is the time that you want to make sure you got somebody in your corner and on your side that's going to take care of you. That's why Kevin Yoder, my good friend and the folks at the Yoder Real Estate Team, brokered by LPT Realty, they've created this brand new project called Senior Smooth Move. And the Senior Smooth Move system is a step-by-step process that does exactly what it says. It helps families sell smarter, plan better, and walk away with more. After all, most folks, that's where it all is, really. It's in your home. You've been building that equity and that wealth your entire life, and it's time to make sure that it counts when you need it the most. They protect your loved one's equity, their wealth, and they handle all that heavy lifting for you. So go talk to Kevin today at seniorsmoothmove.com. That's seniorsmoothmove.com. Or call 616-303-5671. That's 616-303-5671 to schedule your free consultation. Get those answers. Tell them I sent you. seniorsmoothmove.com, but do it today.
January 27th, I'm Robin Poffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Here in Michigan, the Office of Inspector General says auditors will dig into the state's child care subsidy system this spring. The move as fraud allegations continue to sweep the Midwest. providing needed scrutiny of this program, which is set to spend north of $500 million in Michigan this year. Bingham Township residents speaking out against a 1,600-acre solar power plant project in Clinton County. The developer claims this facility would supply energy for up to 28,000 homes. And Republican candidate Perry Johnson says he's running for governor of Michigan. Johnson releasing a video announcing his plans to run and emphasizing his background in business, saying we have to give people a reason to want to come to Michigan. We have to create a better environment for business, and that is one of the things I'm best at. For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
It's Steve Kelly from Wood.
All right, folks. Good morning, Freedom Fam over on the VIP this morning. The folks hanging out in locals. If you haven't joined us yet, it's just $9 a month to support the program, support all we do. You get all the secret show prep sent out to you daily, right to your email. You see all the stories that I'm looking at before I even go on the air. Then you get a chance to join a part of the really cool All the Locals First and Locals Exclusive programs we do. And they're voting right now, the VIPs. We're almost done. We're going to wrap this up. I think we got our first day. We're going to schedule this out. The new fireside chat is coming back. And right now, those folks are helping us decide when we're going to do it, what time, what day. Anyway, we'd love to have you inside. Just $9 a month, like I said. But if you sign up for a whole year, you're going to get that month free, first month free, and we give you a copy of my book, Good News, Hope, and Encouragement for Trying Times. So make sure you do that. Hemi's in the house. Hemi, good to see you. My friend Panda's here. Gritter, Karen, good to see you. Patriot Dean, the lifers hanging out with us today. Appreciate you guys. Mando, and so many more. Thank you guys for being here with us. Dana, good to see you too. Appreciate it. And over on the Rumble, folks, thanks for the reshares, the repost over there. Already seen you doing that this morning. Appreciate you. SJ, Tennyson, History Diggers, L. Waldron, D1P. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being in our corner. We love you. Perry. Cindy, good to see you. How are you, Jason? Good to see you. Bunny, good to see you. Brian, Sean, thank you so much. The Bookers, folks watching on X today, too, and the Tubers are here as well. Like I said, man, oh, man, what a day. We are firing it up. Thank you for being here, guys. 14, where you're at, Tammy says. It is, let's see, where are you, Tammy? 17 here. 17 here. Yeah. Facebook tried to hide you from me this morning, Justin. I almost thought you had the day off. Oh, no. Always go looking. Chances are, if you're here on Facebook, you did. They don't share us out with people anymore. I don't know why. But I'd love to see that get fixed. Boy, that would be something nice, wouldn't it? All right, hang on. Back on the air, folks. Stand by. Here we go. Back at it, our good friend Trent Kennedy joining us this morning, and you'll hear from him about 9:35 as we dig into the latest. There's some really concerning stories out there. So one is this Signal app that's being used by folks in Minneapolis. It's almost domestic terror level, and it's communications being used in this effort to really obstruct justice and law enforcement getting in and trying to arrest some of the worst of the worst. It really is. When you watch some of the things that we've been seeing and privy to over the weekend that came out, we shared some of it yesterday. I don't remember if it was on the radio show, on the after show, but if you missed it, you can always find it at justinbarkley.com and the iHeartRadio app, where we always post live and archive. You can watch and listen. Whether you do it, no matter where you are. Now, I wanted to mention this because we've been telling you how great gas prices were for a while, and there is a reason why they may be jumping. We saw a jump, and then it quickly came back down. Let's say that was probably, I don't know, a couple weeks back. I paid as low as $2.39 a gallon. The other day I paid $2.69. And then today I saw it jump over $3. So I can't tell you, somebody asked about this the other day. I can't tell you exactly what's happening, but they did, and I believe this is probably what's causing it. The first time it jumped, and came back down. I think it was worries over Iran. All that sort of squared up, at least for now. And now the latest headline is this: U.S. energy sector reels after winter storm knocks out 2 million BPD of crude output. So that storm, and we warned about it, I think it was Friday, we talked a little bit about this. They said could cause a short-term price jump. So that's not an overall issue you're going to see with the cost of fuel going up because anything that the president did or didn't do. But that is because, unfortunately, of the storm and its affected impact on some of those southern states where that production is done, Gulf areas, et cetera. So you may see a little bit of a jump for now, but still much lower than it was even a year ago. So that remains good news. We'll continue to keep you updated on the latest there. And yes, the Signal chat is something that they are very concerned about. Kash Patel mentioning this. You'll hear more about this coming up at 9:30.
The ongoing investigation involving the shooting last week is being led by DHS, and of course, we're supporting our interagency partners there. The Signal Chat group is information we collect from the public because we repeatedly request the public provide us with information they have. And what we're going to do is what we have been doing across the country under President Trump's leadership to deliver this historic success from year to year. It's not a trust me situation. It's a look at the last year. It's a look at what we did when the FBI opened up their task force in the state of Virginia under President Trump and our great partners at DOJ and the Attorney General. We wiped out crime in the state, and we're going to do that in every single city. We've done it for the whole year. And on this type of specific investigation, what you do, generally speaking, is you send out subpoenas, you collect data, you put people in grand juries, and you find out who broke the law. And if anyone broke the law and incited violence, remember, that's the key here. We are not going after people and infringing on their freedom of speech to peacefully protest. We are definitely not going after people on their Second Amendment right to bear arms.
You're going to get all of it coming up in just a minute. The full story after this. Hang on, folks.
Tackling the hot button issues with style. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Get the new year started with a new look for your home or business with Surter.
Okay. That requires me to take it out of the log. You want me to take it out of the log then? Or because this thing it kind of just runs. Unless you want me to. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, folks, standby's got breaking news. I think it's going to be this overnight homicide story in Grand Rapids. Let's take a listen to what he's going to say here. Dave's just given us some breaking news. About 20 seconds away. Hang on, Trent. We'll test with you in just a moment. Here we go.
You deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Mike Lester, founder of Talon Wealth Management and host of Guarding Your Nest Egg Radio.
Now, the latest news from West Michigan and beyond. News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Good morning. It's 9:30. We've got 15 on the Lakeshore, 16 in Grand Rapids. I'm Dave Wheaton. This is Wood Radio News.
This is a breaking news alert from the Wood Radio Newsroom.
Grand Rapids police are investigating a triple murder on the southeast side of Grand Rapids. The 911 center received a call about a shooting on Warden Street near Kalamazoo on the southeast side of the city at just before 8 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived, they discovered a woman and two children. According to Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom, no names are going to be released at this time. No suspect information has been revealed as of right now. He does clarify a little bit more, in which he says it is a woman and two teenagers involved. Winstrom told the folks with Wood TV that it is simply too important for people to not reach out and share what they know about this crime. We will keep you up to date. As soon as we have more information, we will pass it along to you. Heavy lake effect snow continues with roads that are snow covered and very slick at this hour. And we're calling for about 2 to 5 inches of fresh snow. And depending on where you are, you had that before 6 o'clock this morning. If you're one of those folks that got stuck underneath one of those big heavy bands of snow, you got a couple of inches, and well, literally within the hour or less. We have closings and cancellations. Some businesses are having delays as well. So visit our website at woodradio.com to get a complete list. President Trump touting a productive call with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry.
All right, folks. I think we're good. Yeah, it was the triple homicide. So I just got that. Let me grab Trent real quick. Trent, good morning. Welcome in, man. How are you?
Doing good, Justin.
Fantastic. We are rolling along. You look good. You sound good. Going to do the signal chat question, and then there's a local story. I'm probably going to be heavy on. I'll tie that into something else, one or two other. There's a bunch of stuff that we're probably just going to save for next week. Folks are overloaded today, so stand by. I got to monitor this news, and let me just get through this, and I'll be back. Thank you, Trent. Stand by. Hang on here.
Together with respect to Minnesota, it was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength.
A winter weather advisory remains in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. Most of the region seeing about 2 to 5 inches of fresh snow with blowing snow, top gusts near 35 miles per hour. High temperatures hover in the mid-teens. Tracking West Michigan's weather, I'm Storm Team 8 meteorologist Sarah Flynn.
We've got 15 on the lakeshore, 16 at your official weather station with heavy snow. Next news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Dave Wheaton on West Michigan's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Mike Lester, founder of Talon Wealth Management and host of Guarding Your Nest Egg Radio.
Hey, Cheryl. All right, stand by, folks. Okay, so next time, just let it roll in, because apparently he's got stuff in the log that just makes the next thing play. I didn't either. I thought if we took it out, it'd be good, but all good. I think it still worked out. All right, folks. We have video. Woo, this is good. Let me share this real quick. Here's the video. I got to be careful about. I don't know the language on this because we're just getting it in now. This is the video from last night. Look at this. This is video right here from Minnesota, Minneapolis last night. These are Minneapolis police who largely haven't been a part of all of the and haven't gone after rioters or protesters, etc. This is what took place last night. It must have been one heck of a phone call between Trump and Walz. That must have been one heck of a phone call between him and Mayor Fry. That's you. Yeah, and you know these police wanted to do. They wanted to do the right thing. They're being held back.
What's your credentials?
I'm at level 12 news.
I can't hear you.
I'm at level 12 news. BG on the scene. I just pressed.
They are restoring law and order.
Have any press credentials?
I don't. I can show you.
All right, why don't you move out there, okay? Just get out there. Stay outside the line, okay? Coming out. Coming out.
Wow. Incredible. Hang on, folks. Back on the air here. Stand by.
To West Michigan Live with our good friend Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
That must have been one heck of a phone call yesterday. Woo! Trump makes one call to Mayor Fry, one call to the governor, Tim Walz, and now the Minneapolis police are participating in activities that they weren't before. You know, these guys wanted to.
You are now under arrest. Please sit down and wait for instruction.
They're sending the riot squads and the police now finally quelling some of the protests and some of those things. At least it seems like for now on the surface. We'll see where that lands in just, I guess, the next few days. But speaking of what has been interesting to watch, is what has been happening there is well funded. It is well coordinated, and one might even wonder now that they have tracking on all of this, and the FBI's investigated, how they know who's involved and how it's being coordinated and paid for. I wonder if that was part of the conversation last. You never know with this kind of thing. But if those two had any implication, any involvement whatsoever, I'm sure that would have been part of that leverage used to get them to do the right thing. And again, they are now going to be cooperating with ICE. And as far as they say, and we'll trust but verify, as far as they say in Minneapolis and in Minnesota, they're going to be reporting those folks in the jail cells while they're there. But I want to take you behind the scenes, if we can, on one of the things that I think has led, unfortunately, to the death of Renee Good, to the death of this last weekend, the young man that was killed while he was obstructing justice and trying to get involved where the police were, or the ICE rather, were trying to serve a warrant.
Hack into the latest in tech and how it affects you and your world. This is Tech Talk Tuesday on Wood Radio's West Michigan Live.
Who broke the law? And if anyone broke the law and incited violence, remember, that's the key here. We are not going after people and infringing on their freedom of speech to peacefully protest. We are definitely not going after people and their Second Amendment right to bear arms. Only if you incite violence and or threaten to do harm to law enforcement officials and break the law in any other way does it become an investigatory matter. So this signal chat is something that we, the FBI, are looking at.
What is Signal? What is a signal chat? Kash Patel, director of the FBI, talking about it, I believe, last night on Hannity in that program. Our good friend Trent Kennedy joins us now with this conversation. We've talked about the app before. They say it's a secure way to chat. I don't know how secure it is. We talked about it when folks in the government were using it. But Trent, this time around, looks like that there are folks outside looking to obstruct what the government's doing, using it. Break this down. Walk us. They've discovered they had people inside that were kind of buried inside this chat that discovered who were the admins of the chat, what they were saying in the chat. It really is incredible when you take a look at how this operation was coordinated.
Yeah, good morning, Justin. The Signal app has been on the news time and time again, and it keeps amazing me how it comes to light because it's a basic tool. All it is an app that allows basic communication with sending text messages, pictures. You can do phone calls through digital, phone connection, video chat through digital connection, and it's secured in the way that is end-to-end encryption. So when information is transmitted over the internet, it's hard to decipher that. The average Joe's not going to be able to hack into that during transmission. But security, Justin, as you mentioned, is a general term, right? So it's secured with end-to-end encryption. But if the government, FBI, a court, order says, hey, Signal company, you have to show us the transcripts of this information, a court can do just about anything with any secured system. And then the other way, Justin, is if let's even just say it's perfectly secure, whatever end users have access to these group chats can see all the chats, the pictures in plain text. So if the FBI has an agent who poses as a member of this group chat and they're allowed in the group chat, they have access to see all that, then the whole encryption thing doesn't even matter whether it is or isn't encrypted, because somebody has access to that and can leak that information or save or share that information elsewhere. So that's what the whole Signal chat thing is. As far as the practical side of it, this was obviously used specifically, allegedly, I guess you could say, but there's a lot of reporting on this, to specifically coordinate anti-ICE activities. So to use a different example, this ICE Block app that was specifically designed an app to do just that purpose alone, that was blocked from Apple's App Store for terms of use, that it wasn't allowed. So if this Signal app is being used for the specific function of blocking ICE, calling out people's attention to protest, to report in law enforcement activity, obviously there's a whole big can of worms there because Signal app is used for many purposes, legitimate and illegitimate purposes. Does the Signal app going to be blocked from the App Store? Is there going to be a federal ban on it? Are they going to require the Signal chats to be scanned by some central server system to say, hey, this is allowable or non-allowable activity? It's kind of messy, Justin, because you have all the legal parameters, the political parameters of can people share law enforcement's location and all those other things. I mean, obviously doxing is bad. I'm not a legal expert in the sense of understanding all those things. The courts are going to figure out where the boundary, where the lines are, and these apps make it really easy to report. So a common person who joins an app and reports in a police officer, if that's illegal, that person could get into big trouble, and that's easily tracked back to that user, the post, the time, everything. People could get into big trouble without really understanding what they're participating in.
Yeah, and we're watching some really wild things happen. In fact, we're learning now that they were reporting license plates and things like that, and the license plates of law enforcement. And what we're hearing is that these license plates were being looked up the way the law enforcement usually does that. They only have access. So it's somebody on the inside, whether it's a dispatcher or who knows, that was providing information in these Signal chats, and it's become another big piece of this puzzle. So this is just getting started. They're going to have more information coming out about it in the next, I'm sure, a few days. So we'll give you the latest on it when we see it. I just wanted you to kind of be able to wrap your head around it and understand what it is. Speaking of another story, you can't even begin, I think, as a parent to wrap your head around, is a story out of our own backyard here in Grand Rapids, where a teacher has been accused of using AI to create explicit images of former students. Now, former students, I don't know how old these people were. Some of them may have been even younger. But as a parent, you may know this technology's out there, but you may have, there's no way that your mind goes to that sort of a sick, twisted place, and specifically a teacher. But this specifically, Trent, I think goes to the idea of why parents have been some of them, been so careful about what they put pictures and things like that online of their children.
Yeah, Justin, this is a very sad story. It's a very frustrating story. You know, teachers, we trust them, we respect them, we teach our kids to trust and respect them. And it's obviously a sad story. But sadly, what the cause of this, Justin, is the technology to do these kind of things is being pushed upon us in different news feeds and different advertisement feeds. And it's just a couple of clicks to take a picture and to transcribe it with AI into anything you want, Justin. And this is obviously a very bad, inappropriate images situation, but it's 2 clicks or just a little verbal command, and AI can do anything you want, Justin. It is so easy to fall prey to this technology because it's right there, it's at your fingertips, and people are such in a click, touch, try this, whatever. There's no consequence in my digital life, whatever. They're so used to that people fall into this trap, Justin, and this is something that hits all sorts of people. So there's people out there that say, hey, I would never do something like this, or my family member would never do something like this. They don't think that way. They're not some young, nasty person or older, whatever. It's way too easy because technology has these things infiltrated everywhere. And we see it, unfortunately, at our shop here, where people come in that have inadvertently clicked on something, And it just sucks them in, Justin. This modern technology, people have to be totally on their guard. Do not touch it. Do not mess with it. AI image creation or doing something inappropriate with that it sounds like it's very, from reading this article, it's very much against the law. And I'm glad to see that the law covers AI generated images. Some years ago, when this more came out, was prevalent, I was worried that the law wouldn't cover AI images because it's not real or authentic. But it looks like the law is written that if you make an image with the representation of inappropriate images for minors specifically, you're going to be prosecuted by the law.
One of the former students, was 17 at the time, it looks like. The other was 18, according to the report from Channel 8. And he used an app, as you said, like a website, to create these. The documents say that his ex-girlfriend told investigators she found the image in a hidden folder on his iPad in October. She said that when she confronted him, he became defensive and told her repeatedly that the students had graduated. She said he admitted to her that he had the photograph generated and knew that he should not have made the photograph. Again, I don't know what the law officially fully says on this. I haven't discovered that. And I know you're not an attorney, and we're not qualified to go into this, but I would say this. This is that new territory that if we don't have this fully, because I hate to see somebody like this, somehow get out with a technicality in a situation. If we don't already have this fully covered by the law, it really ought to be something that lawmakers are looking at. And it's something that you as a parent need to be very concerned about as well. Look, I've been very careful recently in the last several years about putting pictures of our kids in certain places. And I just think that we need to think a little bit closer about it. And it's something that everyone ought to be aware of. Unfortunately, the world that we're in nowadays. And speaking of AI generated images, look at this. Here's another angle. Amelia is an AI generated British schoolgirl who is a far right social media star. The avatar created to deter young people from extremism has been subverted and is breaking out of niche online silos. I won't get into all of that, but I just find it interesting that a lot of the content, and this is a whole nother, I think you and I have to have a conversation about this another day. A lot of the content people are looking at, I constantly have friends sending them to me. Is this real? Is that real? And a lot of it's AI generated. And we're at that point. We told you this was coming a while back. We're at that point. Unfortunately, you just may never know what you're looking at. Is it real or is it fake?
That's right, Justin. So lately, we've been able to take a new Facebook account, new social media account, look at that creation date or how long they've been on the platform and say, hey, they've been on the platform 3 months, 6 months, a year. Good chance it could be some AI generated content or have bad activity. But when you have somebody who has a 10 or 15-year-old account and it's showing all this stuff that looks real, you can take an existing AI account or an existing like a Facebook account, and you can overlay that with AI and say, hey, from this point forward, take my life and morph that into whatever you want it to be. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing that can stop that. So what you're seeing online, even if it's a 10-year-old account, can be totally fake, total artificially generated. And I don't think currently there's any legal law that requires you to state that or make that obvious on those accounts.
That's the latest. Trent Knibbie, Affordable Ice Store, Lake Michigan Drive in Standell. I had so many stories in the last week or so that were so big. I actually wanted to get through a good deal of them, but we didn't get a chance to do that today because of these big breaking news stories. But I will give you a preview of what we'll be talking about in the next week or so. RFK Jr., speaking of your kids, saying it's a big goal for them to reduce your kids' screen time and encourage you to do that as parents over the next year ahead. And the research they've done behind it, I think, ought to be interesting to everyone. And this should happen this weekend. But Congress could have killed the kill switches that are coming to your car, and they didn't. But as it stands now, it looks like they made this new law that may be out on the books soon that would put kill switches in your car. That and more coming up, Trent. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today and walk through all these stories with us.
Thanks, Justin. Have a great day.
You got an Affordable iStore, Lake Michigan Drive in Standale, and, of course, the folks at Grand River Tech, grandrivertech.com. Trent can help you, whether it's your personal device or your business, your organization, with answers and solutions for nearly every problem. Reach out today and talk to our good friend Trent. Checking the Dow down a little bit today. We got S&P rising. Traders awaiting some big tech earnings. Could be part of what we watch coming out today with those numbers. In the meantime, look, if you are feeling like it's a roller coaster ride you want to get off of every now and then, a little nauseous on this ride. Whether you want to retire today, tomorrow, 10, 20 years down the road, the folks at guardingyournestegg.com, Talon Wealth, Mike Lester and the team want to make sure that you are taken care of, well-positioned to get to where you want to go when you want to get there. It's what matters most, that you can get taken care of, especially after all the years you put in, after all the blood, sweat, and tears. GuardingYourNestEgg.com. Call them today at 616-661-1000.
FYI. Like, literally. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Tuesday, January 27th. I'm Robin Hoffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story.
I'm Perry Johnson, and I'm running for governor of the state of Michigan.
You're listening to Republican Perry Johnson, who says he's running for governor of Michigan. Johnson releasing a video announcing his plans and emphasizing his background in business, saying,
I have spent my entire life bringing quality and efficiency to companies, and I want to do the same for the state of Michigan.
In other news, here in Michigan, the Office of Inspector General says auditors will be digging into the state's child care subsidy system. The move as fraud allegations continue to sweep the Midwest. This program set to spend north of $500 million in Michigan this year. And Bingham Township residents speaking out against a huge 1,600-acre solar power plant project in Clinton County. The developer of the plan claims this facility would supply energy for close to 30,000 homes. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
I'm Kevin Yoder, and if you're helping a parent move into assisted living, I know how fast things can get complicated. That's why my team at Yoder Real Estate, brokered by LPT Realty, built a senior smooth move system to handle the whole process for you. We coordinate the timeline, prep and sell the home, and manage the move, all with care and precision. Go to seniorsmoothmove.com or call 616-303-5671 to schedule your free in-home consultation. We'll take it from here.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax?
All right, folks, rolling right along. The fastest hour on radio is underway. I don't know how the heck this happened, but we made Media Matters, this weird left-wing group. They've got a lot of people listed in this. It's really coverage of the Preddy shooting. And here's the quote they give. It just popped up. Justin Barclay seemingly blamed Walz for the shooting. You're talking about Governor Tim Walz saying you've got to go fight these guys. They're the Gestapo. And then this weekend he said something crazy along the lines of, we got another Anne Frank story happening right here in our own backyard. They're actively pushing this. Well, somebody tell me where that's not the truth. All of that happened. The media, the politicians on the left, they're working overtime with propaganda to convince these people that they can have a purpose if they just come join the fight. Hello? Fact check that. So we have been monitored. I don't know how they do it. I don't know why they do it. I don't really care much other than to tell you the USAID money on that one might be might be drying up soon too. I don't know, but isn't that interesting? Little old podcaster, radio guy like me. They wanted a quote. I just tell me what I said wrong. Anything wrong? Anything wrong there? Hang on, folks. Back on the air. Got the latest. We got breaking news. The triple homicide investigation underway here in the city. And the latest coming up, we'll have top of the hour. The Glenn Beck program is coming up next. We told you about the Signal Chat investigation. really digging into it. Data Republican is on X, and she is very gifted. She's got an account where she goes through it. In fact, she did a lot with Doge, did a lot of this uncovering some of the things that most just miss. She's got a gift. Anyway, she's really gifted in this field of data discovery, and she broke down where some of the finance, some of the money might be coming from. In fact, there is foreign money, they say, foreign money in some of the signal and some of what's being pushed in Minneapolis. That's a fact. They are discovering it now. In fact, they know one of the guys that helped set this up is out of Canada. That is the whole network where they go, they blow their whistles, they tell people where people are, and they get together to deal with some of those ICE movements. So anyway, she's going to be talking about Glenn Beck program a little bit later on this morning. She's going to be talking about what that actually looks like and why. I guess a little bit later on this morning. We're going to dig into some of that too on the after show. The fastest hour on radio, flown right by once again. But we always appreciate you being here with us. If you didn't get a chance to check it all out live, you can get it archived as well in the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you download your podcast. JustinBarkley.com. Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, YouTube, you name it. We just appreciate you being here with us. And again, we'll have more tomorrow. In the meantime, make it a great one. Be careful out on the road. Stick with us for the latest on closings, cancellations, and all that traffic information as well, so you get to where you need to go safe and sound. God bless.
On earth as it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and our glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
I'll have to dig into this article a little bit later to give you the full scoop on it. Anyway, just thought that was funny. It's interesting to me because, I mean, there was no fact check on what I said at all. There was no, all those things have happened. All those things have happened. And I think it's a pretty good case. Now look at what happened today. You got those guys out doing what they did. And you know what's beautiful about this? I should wait. Some of this I got to save because I got to talk about Tom Homan, who I absolutely love. Got a chance to meet him a few years back at State of the Union when Biden was doing that one when they had him all gassed up on the drugs. He's a really good guy. Really enjoyed meeting him. All right, anyway, let's stand by. Let's talk about that coming up here in just a minute. I'll get back into it. Stand by. Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barkley. After show, the show after the show, like I said. Never a dull moment, never enough time to get to everything in our full radio program. It's the fastest hour on radio. That's why we started this. It's called the After Show. It is the show after the show. And we are flying full speed ahead. Speaking of Minneapolis and Minnesota and all the details and updates, you know, the guy running for governor there in Minneapolis needs your help. Mike Lindell, my pillow. He's a patriot. He's been fighting the good fight for years now, and Mike could use you in the fight right alongside him. You can help. mypillow.com/store.com/just. I think it's the winter super sale right now. And the slippers, which I love. I've been wearing them quite a bit often just because it's just cold. Wearing those slippers, wearing them out around the house. Boy, I love them. $39.98 for a pair of slippers from My Pillow right now, and they are very comfortable. That fur inside, leather on the outside.
I mean, it's like moccasins. These slippers, they got a nice, like, rubber sole to them on the bottom. I mean, you could wear them out in the mud if you wanted to, I guess. It's not necessarily my style, but I mean, you want to walk down walk the dog down the road, I guess you could. You go to the mailbox and grab your mail if you wanted to as well, or you could wear it at the grocery store. I've seen a lot worse at Walmart. I just put it that way. Not at Meijer. Meijer's much more upscale. Tom Homan on his way. By the way, just say this, Justin. Just make sure you use promo code Justin, mypillowmystore.com/Justin. Tom Homan on his way right now to Minneapolis. And like I said, this is a guy they can't mess around with. One of the things Homan is about to put into place, and by the way, I think what we saw take place in Minneapolis, the old switcheroo, I think might have been part of the Trump plan. And I don't think he wanted to see people hurt. I don't think he wanted to see people killed, but I think he did want to see Tom Homan in the way that it's all finally working out now. By the way, this guy.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair.
Oh.
It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration.
I don't know who that guy is, but boy, I agree with him. He's right. Could be a problem. Could be a real problem. Speaking of, have you ever seen the video? Have you ever seen the video where apparently Obama? I don't know. Maybe it's not video. Maybe it was just a picture. But Obama gave Homan the what medal was that? Some sort of medal. Was this the Presidential Medal of Freedom, or what was it? He gave him. This is not a fake picture. This is not AI. He gave Homan an award. And I'll see if I can find the full context in the video so you can see it. But he gave Homan an award a few years back. So now, I mean, Democrats are going to be complaining about this guy. Yeah, he means business. Trust me, I can tell you that much. He even complain about this guy. And he's got Obama all over him. It's going to be interesting.
How is the secretary prepared to help him fully make that pivot?
Yeah, absolutely, Dana. And I think.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me give you this. In 2012, Obama deported 409,000 people. In 2025, Trump deported 290,000 people. Barack Obama's ICE chief, that was Tom Homan at the time, received an award for the 920,000 removals that they did. That is the difference. That is the difference. So when you hear folks say, well, ICE is Gestapo, just remember, they were fine with it. They were fine with it under Obama.
The president and secretary, they've had at-length discussions. I can't get into those specifics, but Secretary Noem will continue to oversee, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, and she's very happy that Tom Homan, who is a great asset to the president, has a great depth of experience and insight that he will be overseeing Minneapolis. Secretary Noem has also been overseeing FEMA. She's been living there for 3 days during this storm, as well as U.S. Coast Guard, TSA, Secret Service. So her portfolio is really huge, and she'll continue with CBP.
That's Tricia McLaughlin. She's the assistant DHS there to Kristi Noem and the secretary there. Here's Carolyn Levitt, by the way. Just 100%
knocking it out of the park yesterday.
This is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who...
Now, there's a lot of talk about 4D and 5D chess and all of that, and I don't know that this is it, but boy, this is a move. This is a move I didn't see coming.
Awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president. He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and work together to have successful immigration enforcement, as we've seen in almost every other state across the country.
Well, that would be nice. That would certainly be nice, wouldn't it? Man, oh man. So we are starting to hear and see some of that stuff. We are starting to hear and see some of these things reported, and we're gonna get more now. Anyway, there is. Oh, we got this is beautiful. An anti-ICE learning manual from one of the state reps there in Minnesota. Ice Watch. Yeah, you see the whistles, all of this other. This is all coordinated, folks. What you're watching is an insurgency. This is a planned, sort of a military style intelligence. We've seen this before. And I hope that the cleanup that we saw take place last night, or at least begin, I hope that it holds. I want to read you something because I think this was fascinating. The thing that this guy had written yesterday, I just kind of blown away. That's a little long. I don't know if I'd be able to get through the whole thing, but I thought it was really fascinating what this guy had to say. Pull this out. Oh, first, let's do this. Forgot all about this one. Here comes a dispatch call from inside the Signal group. We were talking about Signal earlier on the program. Listen to this.
This is clearly a coordinated infrastructure, and we'd like for the feds to take a crack at trying to get rid of this infrastructure the way that they approach the mob or other or cartels or other terrorist networks, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And again, they're still doing it.
They're still doing it.
Wait, you want to see something real cool?
Please,
real quick?
Please, real fast.
All right, real fast. This is dispatch.
Sorry, I just switched. M3 was driving. I just dropped him off, and I am in the North Loop commuting back to Hawthorne shortly.
Okay, thank you. Last person I want to check in with is Maria R. Can you tell me where you're at and what's going on?
Wow.
That's live dispatch call.
They're coordinating inside that Signal app. Again, all distraction from the fraud. Yeah, you're right, Rhonda, I guarantee. But it's really about more. I think there's more underway. It is a distraction from the fraud, but the people that are being utilized right now in the programs, the way that they're doing this, I think there's more to it. It's even more sinister, and I think much more concerning. Eric Schwam writes on X, as a former Special Forces warrant officer with multiple rotations, running counterinsurgency operations, both hunting insurgents and trying to separate them from the sympathetic populations, I've seen organized resistance up close, from Anbar to Helmand. The pattern is familiar: spotters, cutouts, dead drops, or modern equivalents, disciplined comms, role specialization, and a willingness to absorb casualties while bleeding the stronger forces slowly. What's unfolding in Minneapolis right now isn't a protest. It's low-level insurgency infrastructure built by people who've clearly studied the playbook. Signal groups at 1,000-member cap per zone. Dedicated roles, mobile chasers, plate checkers, logging vehicle data into shared databases, 24/7 dispatch nodes, vectoring assets, salute-style reporting, size, activity, location, unit, time, equipment. That's salute. On suspected federal vehicles, daily chat rotations, and timed deletions to frustrate forensic recovery. Vetting processes for new joiners. Mutual aid from sympathetic locals. Teachers providing cover, possible PD tip-offs. on license plate lookups. We now know that was happening. I told you early in the full show. Home base coordination points, rapid escalation from observation to physical obstruction or worse. This isn't spontaneous outrage. This is C2, command and control, with redundancy, OPSEC hygiene, and task organization that would make an SF, Special Forces, team sergeant nod in recognition. Replace ICE agents with occupying coalition forces. And the structure maps almost 1-to-1 to early stage urban cells we hunted in the mid-2000s. Folks, I'm telling you what you're watching is domestic terrorism. It is domestic terrorism. And I'm warning, because I think that's clear, we ought to be aware. I'm warning that what we're watching, if we don't pray about this, if we don't fully take it as seriously as we should, I think what we're watching is the early stages of something that these people have been hoping and praying for a long time. For a long time. In fact, I can show you more. This is another graphic that shows the level of deportations, and particularly if you think about what's going on in Minnesota right now. In fact, Elon Musk posts, they must be hiding something very big in Minnesota to send their foot soldiers there from all over the country. Arthur McWaters had originally posted, he shared it over on X. Let me get this straight. 1, prior administrations deported millions of people and riots were basically non-existent. 2, the moment Trump took office, a coordinated campaign by politicians, legacy media directly called for resistance to ICE. 3, once riots happen and people die, he says, that's probably dead. The spotlight shifts to stopping deportations and defunding ICE. If this was such a crime against humanity, why did no one riot in 2024? The intention behind the unrest is not empathy. Empathy is being manufactured on false grounds to achieve political aims, and people are getting hurt. And you can see the immigration-related demonstrations by week and how small they are there at the bottom and where they jump. That is the moment Trump takes office. Others on X saying, we simply cannot validate a mob veto of federal immigration law. That can't happen. It doesn't matter what argument someone uses to reach that conclusion, because the conclusion is unacceptable. Another here, Brent Scherer on X, withdrawing at any level from Minneapolis and sending the message that you can just chase off the feds if you set up an intricate interference campaign would be by far the dumbest thing to do. And by the way, I agree. Brent is the editor-in-chief at the Real Daily Wire, it looks like. I agree. I don't think we should cave. I really don't think it is. It is horrific what is playing out right now. It doesn't seem as though that's what we're going to see. I think what you're watching right now has to come at a moment-by-moment, case-to-case basis. We saw action taking place with police in Minneapolis and Minnesota. We saw them working behind the scenes. At least it looks like. Last night, to clear some of those folks in those areas. Now, these are people out on the streets. The stuff that's happening behind the scenes, I don't know. Again, it might drive some of this further underground. But at least people won't get hurt and killed because they won't be out on the streets. That's the major issue, I think, that they're trying to deal with in both sides. Hopefully, in recognizing that the weight of the moment, how much it matters, and hopefully Walls and Fry aren't as crazy as they seem like on the surface. But these people, there are so many of them. It's true. There are so many that want this thing to happen. They want it to pop off. They really do. And it is just, it's sickening to think about. So what is happening? I told you it's the find out era, right? What is happening with all of this fraud? Food stamp fraud specifically. RFK Jr. makes the case that they're tracking it all down.
I mean, it's not a federal cut. The people who are committing fraud are stealing from the system, and they're stealing from the poorest people, the people who need that, for whom those programs were denied or were designed. And in cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, we are going to have more money left for the people for which the program was designed and intended. I mean, it's not.
It's the point I've been making the whole time, is when you got people going in and fraudulently ripping off the government in these cases, these scenarios, the people who need these things the most aren't getting them. You're ripping those people off. That's what's happening. So when Ilhan Omar builds her winery or they've got a fake daycare, think about who's really getting hurt. The people who need that the most, that money the most, whatever grant, whatever the thing that they're pulling out, and you talk about millions upon millions and now billions, that's what matters most. Will there be a government shutdown later on this week? Fetterman, the only Democrat, seems to have his head on straight, which is wild considering everything he's been through, says he's not going to vote for that.
Will Democrats now have a government shutdown and try and defund ICE? And would you support that?
Well, for me, I think maybe your viewers remember that I was one of the Democrats that led the pushback about the government shutdown last year, and for about 45 days they kept things shut down. And if the Democrats vote to shut it down, now our entire military won't be paid again. I can't ever support that. I absolutely hope we can engage. I absolutely hope we can engage in a debate and make some of the kinds of common sense reforms on ICE and make it more safe, more humane, and more effective, and just focus exclusively on the criminals. I hope that's possible. But for me, I remain to be the one Democrat, at least, that refuses to shut our government down. And now, if this happens, our military won't be paid because a significant part of our government would shut down again.
You know, I am not sure about a shutdown. It's really interesting because there's so much else in the news. We haven't heard a lot talk about it. Normally you would. I really don't think you can avoid it. I think there are folks on the left that are so whacked out that they're going to be demanding it. And I think some of the folks on the left, particularly in the Senate, are going to cause that issue to come to a head again. And how do you deal with that? It's again, we're going to get a little closer to it this weekend. We'll have more details as we get closer to it, just to see what's out there. But seeing Fetterman again as the voice of reason, about a year or two back wouldn't have been on my bingo card. That's for sure. Well, it was. MSNBC and what they've been doing. This is reprehensible. I've seen this floating around the internet, but look at this.
This time it was 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse who cared for veterans. Donald Trump and his cabinet, his administration, are demanding once again that you not believe your eyes and ears.
The whole pointing of, the innocence of the individual involved in this situation. By the way, did you know that they shared an AI enhanced photo? That photo, apparently it's not a real photo. It's an AI enhanced photo, the one that they were showing. I mean, this is how bad the propaganda gets these days. That's not real. Well, if that's not real, what are you talking about? What is real? I mean, it kind of looks like what the guy looked like. No, that's not what the guy looked like. You would wonder, like, this kind of people they are. Why would they do that? Look at the look at the photos. Whoa. I don't want to talk about the dead, but he goes from sort of a geeky looking, there's nothing wrong with the guy, but he goes from sort of a geeky looking, nerdy sort of guy to sort of McDreamy or whatever it was on Grey's Anatomy on the right. The guy's a little more handsome there. They did that on purpose. It's an altered photo. It's not real. Why are they showing fake photos on the news of people? It's really strange. And speaking of fake photos, have you seen there's an AI photo where they show and they one of the officers, it's an angle where they're showing the gun. They're like one of the ICE officers is shooting Preddy with the gun. But one of the officers in the photo, it's clearly AI because it's not real. One of the officers in the photo, here it is. Apparently his head's cut out. I just hi, you can't make this up. Here's the picture that I'm talking about. I don't know if you've seen this one yet. This is why you have to be so careful about what you share and what you look at, because you may even think it may be something that supports your opinion and your view and your point and all that. You may think you're showing the right thing, but this is how good it's gotten. This is how good AI is. This photo with this ICE agent right here holding the gun at this guy, Preddy's back, his head here. But this guy has no head. It's an AI photo. And I think you're going to see more and more and more of that as the days go on, because we just don't know. And in the heat of it, I think that's why that 24-hour rule needs to probably get a little bit more adhered to. A woman struck by less than lethal. Well, she wasn't struck. This is a wrong headline too, apparently, from what I saw. Now, let me just fact check it, because this woman is writing. She's an emergency med physician, 25-year science journalist. Let's just fact check what she's talking about, because I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen a different outlook on this. Let me see. The story that I originally saw is this woman picked up a flash bang grenade and was going to try and throw it back at ICE agents and lost part of her hand. She had some serious injury to it. And I'm not getting that. Now, she's writing that this is very vague. A woman struck by less than lethal munitions sustaining a serious injury to her hand. That's what she's writing here. Now, let me mute it, because I don't know if there's any language to this. But if that's the case, and she did actually, and again, I'm just telling you about AI and everything else, so who knows? I couldn't get the fact check on here from Grok. It's kind of graphic, but apparently she was part of the protest, and the story I saw had her picking up the flashbang and then trying to throw it back on ICE. Let's see if we can fact check it here together. Hang on. From multiple reports, eyewitness accounts, videos, and reports circulating on X and elsewhere, a woman at a protest and riot in Minneapolis related to clashes with federal agents on the flash. She grabbed an active flashbang grenade that had been deployed. She attempted to pick it up, likely to throw it back, and it detonated in or near her hand shortly after, severely injuring her. But as you can see in the photo that's shared over on X, this woman says a woman was struck by less than lethal munitions. But she's struck by it because she picked it up. So you gotta watch all of this stuff, and she maybe even she doesn't isn't meaning to mislead people, but even like when you leave things out, it makes a big. It makes a big difference. Here's a leftist woman on ICE saying, "Hey, if they're going to kill us anyway, we should hide in the trees and ambush them." This woman, who I don't know, she's hiding very well anywhere, making those claims. Mob them. You don't know, and you do not want to do that, and you do not want to encourage other people to do that because you will not like what you find out. Talk about fool around and find out. That's the epitome of it there. They've lost their minds. So much so, wow, remember this guy? Oh, shoot, you didn't all that, did you? Let me play it again for you.
Hey, so they're gonna kill us anyway, so I think maybe we should just mob them. If you comply, they're gonna shoot you. If you try to leave, they're gonna shoot you. Mob them, like that. Like full American Revolution, like hiding in trees. I don't know.
What could go wrong?
Hey, so they're gonna kill us anyway, so I think maybe we should just mob them.
That's the epitome of find out. Fool around and find out. There it is. Okay, speaking of which, here's the guy the other day that was I think he's a cross-dressing. There's a lot to this guy, I think I saw the other day. And he was threatening people, and he said we should start the revolution. We start the Civil War right now. Apparently, he's on the run. And he's begging for lawyers at this point.
The Alex Preddy murder, calling for direct action, calling for boots on the ground, calling for someone to stand against these murderers was deemed inciting violence and
I can't take any more of this guy. Well, it wasn't deemed. It was. When you're telling people to go out into the streets and do these things, it's not deemed something. It is something. Antifa Captain Kyle calling for the killing of ICE agents and organizing, stalking them, now on the run, saying he needs a lawyer. I'm basically on the run now, is what the guy says. This, again, is the find out era. I just don't, folks, you can't make this make sense. None of these people. You can't really, and again, it would be funny if it weren't so damn serious. And these people are being they're being pulled around by the nose rings in their nose. Praying for those folks, and of course for cooler heads to prevail during it all. I got more. We just didn't have time to get to it all today. Maybe we'll break some more down tomorrow. I got some good news I want to share with you as well. Well, stories again that probably deserve a little more positivity, a little more focus, a little more light of the day shown on them. But stick with us. If you haven't, jump in with us over on the after show, which we call the after party, the Remnant, hanging out today in the VIP, justinbarkley.com/VIP. You can come on over and hang out with us on Locals as get a chance to ask me anything. We'll give you a chance to do that and have a blast while we're at it. Healthwithjustin.com. We are on the way, on the fight. And this week, Lizzie and I start our next phase. Join us, healthwithjustin.com. Take your health back one step at a time. Maha starts with you. It starts with me, and we can get there together. God bless.